Good morning, Wittenberg. It's your host, Jake Grubb.
And Clint Malarchuk. Today's story is a chilling throwback about Clint Malarchuk and the 2 minutes that could have claimed his life back in 1989.
Clint Malarchuk was born on May 1st, 1961. He was a professional ice hockey goaltender for 4 NHL teams. Today's story is about when Steve Turtle's skate sliced open his jugular vein in the 1989 NHL game, the Blues versus the Sabres.
Malarchuk was able to walk off the ice with help from trainer Jim Pizzatelli. Malarchuk was taken to the hospital after his severe injury and was given 300 stitches to stop the bleeding and close the wound. Now let's get a glimpse of the injury that could have claimed Clint Malarchuk's life. Viewers' discretion advised.
Here's the pass, on into the Buffalo zone. Mahar goes to the corner of the pass, and oh, wow!
But watch Malarchuk. That's the story right now with the rim. Oh, look in. That is the...
Oh, my God.
Oh, please take the camera off, but don't even bring it over there, please.
Oh, my God.
Just keep it away.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, my God, what happened?
You're watching Sabres hockey on the Niagara Frontier Sports Network.
Oh.
Welcome back. We are now in the War Room, where we talk about historical events that still have relevance in today's sports culture.
Amazingly, after the incident, he was back playing within 10 days. Unfortunately, the traumatic accident led to a spiral of nightmares, insomnia, chronic depression, and alcoholism. He later attempted to take his life twice. The first incident was in 1992, where he drank a whole bottle of whiskey and took a bunch of pills that led to his heart stopping. The second incident was in 2008, where he was drunk alone in his barn and shot himself in the head. Luckily, the bullet ricocheted off his molars and went through his tongue and came out his palate. What do you think about all this?
Well, Jake, it seems to me that he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, is defined as a condition of continuous mental and emotional stress, occurring in result of an injury or severe psychological shock, typically involving loss of sleep, constantly feeling as though re-experience of the incident occurs, and socially not engaging with the outside world. This happens in a lot of athletes that have experienced a traumatic injury. PTSD may not be as severe in certain injuries, but with PTSD, a lot of athletes can experience depression.
I agree more, Caitlin. We actually have a quote here from Malarchuk himself. He said, "It transcends sport, detailing the brutality of depression. It's everywhere, not exclusive to any occupation or economic status." What do you think about this?
I would have to agree with him, Jake. As an athlete, we are constantly talking about good mental health. In our culture, depression affects 300 million people globally. With this statistic, what is your opinion?
My opinion is that there's most likely more than 300 million people that suffer from depression, and they just don't know they have it. I think the steps our society has taken ever since Malarchuk's incident has been positive, but not near enough to what we need to come to. Awareness has increased, but we still have to work at it every day and make sure the young generation knows how to handle their mental health.
Malarchuk was quoted saying how there is still a stigma around it in sport, where there is a constant expectation upon you. I was mentally ill, but I thought I was mentally weak.
I've seen the pressure just like that as a student athlete. I've experienced games where it's crunch time and all eyes are on you, and you can't let your team down or your school down.
Now that you're saying that, Malarchuk's story is still very relevant in the way sports are viewed in our society and how sports work in our culture. In our culture, the more brutality in a game, the more views it gets. People have a hard time looking away from the big hits and the hard, bloody, gory stuff. When researching this story, one of the first things that popped up was the 10 most gruesome injuries in hockey history. Hockey is very brutal, and that is a part of the reason it is popular. With big hits comes risk of injury. With how intense competition is for a spot on a team, injury could be the end of your career. For athletes that their career ends early, it can be hard to assimilate back into society. In some, this can cause depression and anxiety.
I agree. With that being said, someone needs to get the conversation started about mental health. Now to Coach Jay with a very famous mental awareness speech.